הסולם אנחנו לא נוותר, תן לנשמה להתעורר. אם ננסה לבד אף פעם לא נמצא מהי השיטה לפוצץ את המחיצה. נקבל ערבות, נחזק את הקבוצה. עכשיו אנו אומרים נעשה וגם נשמע. נקבל ערבות, נחזק את הקבוצה. עכשיו אנו אומרים נעשה וגם נשמע. תן לנו את הכוח ורצון להתחבר, על הכל ביחד נתגבר. נטפס על הסולם אנחנו לא נוותר, תן לנשמה להתעורר. יהפוך לשיר, והלילה החשוך יהיה כיום בהיר. העיניים נפקחות מעל ההיגיון, ואתה הוא הראשון וגם האחרון. שנאה שמתגלה נעזור לטוב, נוריד ראשינו נתחבק כשהגל קרוב. יש מגדל אור נותן כיוון, אורות לא קבע, ומעל כל הפשעים כיסוי של אהבה. השחר, נעורר את השחר בתפילה עבור החברים. נעורר את השחר, נעורר את השחר, והאור יאיר בין השברים. הרע שמתגלה יהפוך לטוב, בכל מקום בך מלא שאתה קרוב. כאיש אחד בלב אחד, כאש הלהבה, ומעל כל הפשעים צמיחה של אהבה. נעורר את השחר, נעורר את השחר בתפילה עבור החברים. נעורר את השחר, נעורר את השחר, והאור יאיר בין השברים. יאיר בין השברים, יאיר בין השברים. L'amour est trop mignon. L'amour est trop mignon. L'amour est trop mignon. L'amour est trop mignon. L'amour des amis. L'amour est trop mignon. L'amour est trop mignon. L'amour est trop mignon. L'amour est trop mignon. L'amour des amis. Un pour tous, tous pour un. Un pour tous, tous pour un. Un pour tous, tous pour un. Nous arrivons au bout. Un pour tous, tous pour un. Un pour tous, tous pour un. Un pour tous, tous pour un. Nous arrivons au bout. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. 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 La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Un pour tous, tous pour un. Un pour tous, tous pour un. Un pour tous, tous pour un. Nous arrivons au bout. Un pour tous, tous pour un. Un pour tous, tous pour un. Un pour tous, tous pour un. Nous arrivons au bout. This is a message from God to stop the war. This is a message from nature. You can be sure. This is a message of love, awakening your soul. This is a message from above. It's time to grow. La 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 la. Somewhere inside your heart, you know it's time for a change, it's time for love to all. This is a message dressed as a financial fall. Together we grow, awaken our souls, you can be sure. La 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 la. Somewhere inside your heart, you know it's time for a change, it's time for love to all. This is a message of love to every soul, to all of those who wanna hear and follow. Here לב כל חבר בוער בו כספירה, וכל אחד משלים את השיר, ומחבר את הניצוץ הרוחני. עשירייה, 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 זה המקום להיות בכוונה, ונממש את חופש הבחירה, לבנות איחוד, חיבור ואהבה. לילה 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 עשירייה, עשירייה, לכל חבר בוער בו כספירה, וכל אחד משלים את השני, ומחבר את הניצוץ הרוחני. עשירייה, 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 זה המקום להיות בכוונה, ונממש את חופש הבחירה, לבנות איחוד, חיבור ואהבה. לילה 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 לפתוח, לילה 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 נעשה לו נחת רוח, לילה 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 לפתוח, לילה לילה לילה. עשירייה, 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 בוער בו כספירה, וכל אחד משלים את השני, ומחבר את הניצוץ הרוחני. עשירייה, 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 זה המקום להיות בכוונה, ונממש את חופש הבחירה, לבנות איחוד, חיבור ואהבה. לילה 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 נעשה לו נחת רוח, לילה 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 עם לב פתוח, לילה 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 לילה. שלומות שלנו. 1, 2, 3, 4. לילה 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 פותח את ליבי, נותן למחשבה לזכור צדק בתוכי, ולכל צדק שנפתח נכנסת אהבה. היא ממלאת את החלל, אני מחויב לי דאגה. היא ממלאת את החלל, אני מחויב לי דאגה. עמוק עמוק בפנים אני מרגיש את הקבוצה, מתוך שברון הלב כולם יוצאים להתקפה, וכך זה מתגלה לי טיפה אחר טיפה, שאהבת החברים היא התרופה היחידה. אהבת החברים היא התרופה היחידה. לילה 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 לילה. ואין עוד שום דבר בך שמסתדר ממני, ואין עוד שום דבר בך שלא מורגש אצלי. בתפילת רבים כולנו יחד בשמחה, ובחיבור הניצוצות נדליק את הלהבה. בחיבור הניצוצות נדליק את הלהבה. עמוק עמוק בפנים אני מרגיש את הקבוצה, מתוך שברון הלב כולם יוצאים להתקפה, וכך זה מתגלה לי טיפה אחר טיפה, שאהבת החברים היא התרופה היחידה. אהבת החברים היא התרופה היחידה. אהבת החברים היא התרופה היחידה. אהבת החברים היא התרופה היחידה. לילה 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 לילה
בוקר טוב לכולם. זה היום האחרון של הכנס שלנו, אבל זה היום הראשון של החיים.
Good morning, everyone. This may be the last day of our convention, but it's the first day of our life. Let's all sit down and start this most determining day that will determine what will happen with us from tomorrow morning. Let's enter the gathering of friends.
Good morning, friends.
בוקר טוב חברים.
My name is Lama. I'm from Los Angeles.
שמי למה ואני מלוס אנג'לס.
I see all our friends
אני רואה את כל החברים שלנו
around the world kli,
מכל העולם, מכל הכלי העולמי,
in Los Angeles,
בלוס אנג'לס,
gathering every
מתאספים
step of the way
בכל צעד בדרך
and being with us.
ונמצאים איתנו.
So many desires, so many
כל כך הרבה רצונות, כל כך הרבה
burning desires
רצונות בוערים
that the Creator arranged it in such a way that
שהבורא ארגן בכזאת צורה
out of these massive friends, these strong friends,
שמתוך המסה הזאת של החברים החזקים האלה
the Creator arranged it for me to be here with you.
הבורא ארגן כך שאני אהיה כאן איתכם.
This lump of rock that you feel inside, that I feel inside of
חתיכת
me.
הסלע הזאת שאתם מרגישים, שאני מרגיש בתוכי.
And Dima yesterday approached me and he said, Lama, I want you to speak in Yeshivat Avarim.
דימה חבר ניגש אליי אתמול ואמר לי, למה אני רוצה שתדבר בישיבת החברים?
And I still feel this lump of rock inside of me, and
אני עדיין מרגיש את גוש האבן הזה בתוכי, הסלע.
it's like another joke from the Creator.
וזה כאילו עוד בדיחה שהבורא מריץ עליי.
We have today
יש לנו את היום.
made a huge effort to be here,
עשינו מאמץ עצום להיות כאן.
like every single person here.
ממש כל אדם ואדם שנמצא כאן.
Every person that's connected to us virtually.
כל אדם שמחובר אלינו וירטואלית.
And it's not because of anything, but because the Creator has a special plan.
וזה רק בגלל שלבורא יש תוכנית מיוחדת.
Despite what I feel, what you feel,
למרות מה שאני מרגיש, מה שאתם מרגישים,
we're in the right place.
אנחנו במקום הנכון.
And together, connected,
ויחד, מחוברים,
we're going to crack this heart.
אנחנו הולכים לנפץ, לסדוק את הלב הזה.
And I feel this is the moment right now.
ואני מרגיש שזה הרגע, ממש עכשיו.
Nothing is just an accident. Everything has
שום דבר לא קורה במקרה, לכל דבר יש סיבה.
It doesn't matter how I feel. It doesn't matter how you
זה לא
feel.
משנה איך אני מרגיש, לא משנה איך אתם מרגישים.
As long as you look inside,
כל עוד אתם מסתכלים בפנים, אתם מסתכלים על החבר שלפניכם, שלידכם, כמו שאני עושה עכשיו.
see the eyes, the friend,
אני רואה את העיניים של החברים שמסתכלים, שתומכים
and holding you up.
ומחזיקים אותך.
That's what's going to break that heart.
זה מה שהולך לשבור את הלב הזה.
Going to crack this.
זה מה שהולך לסדוק את הקליפה הזו.
And we have this moment right now.
ויש לנו את הרגע הזה עכשיו.
And I ask you, friends,
ואני מבקש מכם חברים,
I'm demanding
אני דורש
for your help.
לעזרתכם.
And also, I'm going to do everything that I can to
ואני
be able to
מתחייב לעשות הכל, כל שביכולתי,
crack this shell.
כדי לשבור את הקליפה הזו.
Let's make it happen today.
בואו נגרום לזה לקרות היום.
This is the moment right now.
זה הרגע שלנו עכשיו.
L'chaim, friends.
לחיים חברים.
Я Олег из Одессы. Просили,
אתמול החברים
сегодня буду выступать на
אמרו לי שאני...
Yesterday, the friends told me that I'm going to talk in the gathering of friends. And probably from the inside, I didn't want to. I now remember that the Creator stands behind each and every friend. So I understood I have to do this. I thought I'll say a joke But then a friend told me, and without the jokes you usually tell from the Odessa jokes. And I said, okay, the Creator speaks through the friend, so I'll share a story. And then the friend tells me, and don't tell us all kinds of stories also. And I'm thinking, all right, what am I doing? And then the Creator tells me again through the friend, you have to open your soul, to really extract it, to put it out there. And I'm thinking, how do I do this? I'm thinking, how am I doing this? I don't know. Where is my soul? How do I take it from inside, put it out? But actually, it's enough to just raise your head, look around, look in the friend's eyes, and it's in these thousands of eyes. The sparks of the soul are in their hands. These are the hands that embrace you and hold you and look at you from every corner. And that the warmth that they project, and that gives you such a joy, what Rav always talks about, the joy that is a sign. And when these particles that are so different and yet connect as one, you just stop looking inside yourself. Just look around. Look at this amazing puzzle and the joy that comes from it. L'chaim to that joy.
Learning to unite, living in the light, we'll win this fight, and everything is gonna be alright. Learning to unite, learning to unite, living in the light, we'll win this fight, and everything is gonna be alright. Learning to unite. Let your heart speak. Let your heart listen. Shoulder to shoulder, you won't be alone. Love is around the deepest ocean. Together we drown in. I won't let go. And it feels so good to be a part of you. This is what this life should be. Learning to unite, living in the light, we'll win this fight, and everything is gonna be alright. Learning to unite, learning to unite, living in the light, we'll win this fight, and everything is gonna be alright. Learning to unite. Friends, thank you for being, thank you for hearing what my heart says. Now's the time for the walls to be broken, for the doors to be open. It's time to pray. It feels so good to be a part of you. This is what this life should be. Go! Learning to unite, living in the light, we'll win this fight, and everything is gonna be alright. Learning to unite, learning to unite, living in the light, we'll win this fight, and everything is gonna be alright. Learning to unite,
Hello everyone.
שלום לכולם.
I'm Richard from South Africa.
אני ריצ'רד מדרום אפריקה.
I've got the And I've got the privilege to be representing Africa.
לייצג את אפריקה.
We are 4 friends here.
אנחנו 4 חברים שהגענו לכאן.
And representing the ones that can't be here.
מייצגים את כל אלו שלא יכלו להגיע.
Firstly, like the kind of growth that I've witnessed
קודם כל, ההתפתחות שראיתי בכלי האפריקאי.
First of all, the development that I saw in the African Kli since the previous convention was amazing. Africa is really a continent of inspiration and impression and excitement, and I hope that I can deliver this to the world Kli friends. The friends really demonstrated the ability to accept things that aren't simple. And above everything, we kept going, and I hope that I can share some of that with the world Kli. We also understood that by being on the screens, when you see us on the screens, it is to give you power. And by giving you power, you give us power. So we learn to unite and we walk towards the light as a world Kli together. L'chaim.
I'm also from South Africa.
גם אני מדרום אפריקה. שמי ג'וני.
I have a little interesting story when I arrived.
יש לי סיפור מעניין שכשהגעתי לכאן ביום הראשון.
So when I came here on the first day of the Congress, we went outside for the first break and we met a friend. And the first thing that was said to us was, "Oh, you're from Africa, from South Africa. But you're not black." And I said, "Wow." Yep, the Creator packages us in different events that are very, very interesting. He puts us in very special packages. And then I said, "Actually, I'm not from South Africa. I'm just a point in the heart." And I came here just to say this most important thing that I want to say is that with all of our obstacles and challenges, we came here. And yesterday, during the meeting in the evening, the session in the evening, Rav said something about the fact that Rabash said if you go into a pharmacy and you can buy some pill that will give us a deficiency. So friends, there is such a pill. It's called the BB pill. We've come here to charge ourselves. We've come here to take it regularly. But the work starts when we get home. And it's that work of dissemination. No matter what package you're in. We've had a great party. We've had great entertainment. That's a small part of the recharge. The work starts back home. The world is in situations, serious situations, and it's unclear which button is going to be pushed. The green one of love and bestowal or the red one. And it seems like the red one is going to go first. So friends, it depends on us. It's up to us. The great friends have done so much work packaging this pill for us. This pill of love, of bestowal, of the method of Kabbalah, of Bnei Baruch. With Rav Lightman, Rabash, and Bala Sulam. Take it into your hearts and let's extract it outwards. Let's bring it out to the world. Let's not keep it for ourselves. Let's spread it. Chaim.
Boker Tov, Kavarim. My name is Shamir, I'm from India.
קוראים לי שמיר, אני מאינדיה.
You all look wonderful. Rav, you look wonderful also. I'm born in the city of Mumbai.
נולדתי בבומביי.
And I always knew there was something
ותמיד
about
ידעתי שיש משהו בתורה.
I wanted to know what it is, since
רציתי לדעת מה זה, מאז שהייתי ממש ילד.
As time passed, I wanted to know
וככל שהשנים
the
חלפו,
root. I always knew in my family, everyone always
רציתי לדעת
talked
מה
Kabbalah,
השורשים.
it's the soul.
I always knew in my roots, in my family, people already said something like Kabbalah is the soul. I wanted to learn it, and then eventually, 4 years ago, I decided, okay, when the heart really awakens, nothing can stop it. Nothing and no one can stop you because it comes directly from the Creator. And then I found Bnei Baruch.
There was no group in India.
לא הייתה שום
There was no group in India,
I always see you great.
and I always see you great friends. I always see the great Rav on the screen, and what can I say about the greatness of these people?
What can I say? So much love.
What can I say? So much love, so much power. It cannot be explained. It's from the heart. And eventually, 1 year ago, I came to Israel. And the Creator blessed me with a group. For 3 years, every day, I prayed for one thing. I want a 10. Give me a 10. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to be here with such great friends, the greatest of the generation, such a great Rav. And now, we want to pray for more, for all the rest of the points in the hearts to be awakened. In this Congress, we all came to unity, only unity. We connected, we bonded. We connected for the friends. We made every possible effort. We're doing it. A few days ago, Rav said in the lesson, what are we waiting for? This is it. Right now, this is the moment. The Creator is revealed between us in our connection right here and now. And I want all of us to take 30 seconds to pray together for all the points in the hearts all over the world that are waiting to awaken. And it's only through our love, only through our unity, only through the connection between us, only by us being one. When we are one, and when we have these great friends, this huge blessing of seeing the Creator before us and the great Rav before us, there's nothing that can stop us. Nothing. Only together we do this. L'chaim, friends, let's pray. Let's take 30 seconds to do this prayer right now. Let's do it. A quiet prayer for all the points in the hearts that will awaken.
הסערה, גם אם נמשיך ישר לא נגלה את השכינה, ואם נסתעף כחוט הסערה, גם אם נמשיך ישר לא נגלה את השכינה. שבידך חושב ואל תעשה, הכל ידוע מראש והרשות נתונה, אם אין אני לי אז מי, לסוף יום אינות בלבדו, אוי 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 הדרך לאמת היא קו דק מאוד, עליו חוסים עד היכל המלך, הדרך לאמת היא קו דק מאוד, עליו חוסים עד היכל המלך, ואם נסתעף כחוט הסערה, גם אם נמשיך ישר לא נגלה את השכינה, ואם נסתעף כחוט הסערה, גם אם נמשיך ישר לא נגלה את השכינה.
Boker Tov, meu nome é Danilo, eu venho do Brasil.
שמי דנילו, אני מברזיל.
Good morning, I'm Danilo from Brazil.
Eu sei que quando
אני יודע
as pessoas
I know that when people hear the name of my country, they think about football, about the carnival, samba. What I think when I think of my country is the amount of people that live there that need to find the light. The light that will turn on the point in the heart. The amount of people in my country that are despaired, that need everyone's intention for it to happen. I come from a country that is full of disasters everywhere, in every direction. What I need, what I saw that is happening here, is that I found myself with the greatest people in order to bring to my country what is really needed. Today, we have a group in my city, a physical group, in one of the places inside my country. In the past, we didn't have that. And if you turn on the news, you'll see that an intention is really necessary. And for a few months now, I'm getting organized and saving up to come to the convention. And I spoke and spoke for months. I spoke about it. I was sick half of the time. And then a moment came where physically there was no better state than what I saw. The friends asked if I come to the convention, and I had no other way to see it. For 23 years I waited to come. After I came, I understood it was thanks to you. A day before my flight, I started feeling such a despair that there's no chance that I'm not going to make it. And really, like a miracle, in the 12 hours on the way here, I just prayed and looking for a way to come. But deep in my heart, I knew that the more we can be here, the better the future will be. Last year, there were almost no people here from Brazil. And this year, many friends from Brazil are with us. Lastly, what I want to say, so that all of you know and hear, there is no other way to love outside this path. There is no other way. All the way here, I went through all kinds of states. I thought I'm not going to make it. But in the end, eventually, I know that every moment, every disturbance I went through, every moment of despair was the Creator. It was the Creator who put me in that state and brought me here to embrace more pieces of my soul. And I am very, very confused right now. My feelings, it's like I never left here. This moment, it's like the whole world stopped. I can almost see the hearts of my friends right now. I just don't know what else to say. The love that I feel here gives me life, gives me hope.
Eu quero passar para
I want to talk about the friend here next to me. We had very, very important moments in the convention here. And I have this huge piece of love next to me here. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I am Zamil. I come from a place not so far from here, like Shamir from Bombay or Danilo from Brazil. This place is called the kibbutz. And it's, even though it's not far away from here, it's as if it's a different planet. I grew up in a bubble as if everything's perfect, everything's real fine, green fields and sun, but I always felt something's wrong. Inside, something's really wrong. When I was 5 years old, I was running from the children's house. We didn't sleep in our parents' house. We slept in the children's house, so every day I used to run back home and ask, if in the end you die, so what's it life for? Every day, every night, I used to run back home and ask this question. And they didn't know what to answer. They didn't have an answer. These questions kept on resonating in my heart all my life. About 10 years ago, when I came over to the Congress that was here 10 years ago, I suddenly discovered that what I always felt that's wrong in me, like this thorn I have in my heart, constantly pricking me and not letting me rest, constantly pricking, not letting me be happy, not letting me connect, nothing. Suddenly, I found out there are people from the U.S. that have the same thorn. People from Canada have the same thorn. People from Brazil, from India, and people from China, people from Germany, Portugal, and Turkey. Even people from Hadera have it. My group, my dear group, has been working in the kitchen for a few days already. And I understood even more. It's not a thorn at all. It's a spark. It's a spiritual spark. It's the greatest thing a person can receive in life. This is the dearest gift. It's like a kind of wonder. There's a magic here. It's something that can connect to other people. Do you get it? It's so special. And anybody, everyone here, and people around the world, we all got this gift. And I have to tell you, this Congress for me, it's the first time. It's not only because we've been to the kitchen this whole Congress, but it's the first time I feel there's real work here, real internal work here that really touches every blood vessel. It reaches the bones. So much work everyone is doing. It's unbelievable. And today is going to be an historical day. It's going to change the world. And I'm going to tell you something that as I drove over, I opened the radio and I heard a song. Maybe it was written a long time ago, but I felt it was written for this time. The words were in English. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. It's a new life for us. L'chaim.
צריך יבין שעליו לעמול ולגלות את אור הנר ברבים להאיר לבבות. רק ניצוץ לא ידליק את אור האהבה, אבל יחד תהיה לכם קומה של קדושה. רק בינינו נדליק את אור האהבה לשלבת גדולה. לה 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 שבו יש נר שדולק ואין נרו שלו כנר חברו. צריך שכל איש יבין שעליו לעמול ולגלות את אור הנר ברבים להאיר לבבות. אבל יחד תהיה לכם קומה של קדושה. רק בינינו נדליק את אור האהבה לשלבת גדולה. רק ניצוץ לא ידליק את אור האהבה, אבל יחד תהיה כאן קומה של קדושה. רק בינינו נדליק את אור האהבה לשלבת גדולה.
Friends, let's make sure our phones are turned off. Let's make sure that all the friends have room to sit. If you see anyone sitting alone, invite him to join you to the table so that during the workshop we can have a strong workshop and continue the preparation from the Yeshivat Chaverim we just had. You can see the frequencies for the translation on the screens now. We're gonna start lesson number 7 in a minute. The topic is one rule: love thy friend as thyself. Please, Rav Leitman. We're starting lesson number 7. And the topic is one rule: love thy friend as thyself. Actually, anyone can point at the bad things that the other has. However, in oneself, it's a bit difficult to discern it, to scrutinize it, to emphasize it, and to hate it to such an extent that you want to get rid of it. So, if the Creator said, I've created the evil inclination, so it's a sign this is truly so, it's a fact. It's only that we have to discover it, to discover that our entire nature completely is only evil. In all the different cases, in all the different directions, all different levels, only evil. And it's not that bad, it's pretty good. The good thing about this evil is that we find out, along with the recognition of the evil, we find the force to correct it, how to correct it and to invert it, to turn it into good. And then shifting from evil, that's the opposite of the Creator, that's why it's called evil, to good, which resembles the Creator. By that, we truly shift ourselves from the state of the created beings to the state of the Creator, from minus, from darkness to plus, to light. And then we feel, we acquire all the depth of creation. And we start understanding one thing and its opposite, the darkness within the light, the light that comes from darkness. And then we really become the managers of the entire creation, and it's in our hands. That's what the Creator wants us to attain, to understand, and to live in. But in the meantime, we stand in a state that we should start acknowledging the evil. And to the extent that we come closer to the recognition of evil, we also attain what good can mean, where the good force comes from, how it works on us, how it will transform us, to what state, corresponding to the evil, it will bring us. The main thing here is that I have to acknowledge all the evil, that this evil is mine. We already talked about it in this Congress in the previous lessons, that this evil is mine. If I see something evil, what I see is myself. That's one thing. Another thing is that I won't be able to correct this evil in any way. And even to think about this evil existing in and of itself is something I shouldn't do, and I mustn't do. What I should do is immediately attach this evil to the Creator. He's the reason for all the evil, and He will be the reason for everything good. If we, in any state and any scrutiny, discern ourselves in a way that only through Him we can correct ourselves, then evil is no longer that bad. It's only here for us to come to recognize the good, to come to understand and control the entire reality, so we can understand, feel, and be rewarded with the entire reality just like the Creator. Let's start. Excerpt number 1 from Peace in the World, an article by Baal HaSulam. The attribute of singularity which exists within each of us, whether more or less, and although we have clarified that it comes from a sublime reason, that this attribute extends to us directly from the Creator, who is single in the world and the root of all creations, still, out of the sensation of singularity, when it sits within our narrow egoism, it affects ruin and destruction, until it became the source of all the ruins that were and will be in the world. And indeed, there is not a single person in the world who is free from it. And all the differences are only in the way it is used, for the desires of the heart, for ruling, or for honor. And this is what separates people from one another. But the equal side in all the people of the world is that each of us stands ready to abuse and exploit all the people for his own private benefit, with every means possible, without taking into account at all that he is hoping that his friend will be destroyed. So I wanted to ask you, how can we discover all the evil around the world as being inside me? Whatever I look at, each and everything, I'll see evil. If this happens, can I come to correct anything at all? The answer is, we don't have to correct all the evil in the world, because the world is a projection of me, and all I have is the evil inclination. So you can be sure that wherever I look, in any level of a still vegetative animate and speaking, in any corner, every picture, and every sound, all I'll see is evil. If I truly can identify it, you don't have to correct all that evil. What you have to correct is only the evil that lies between us, because we are the highest degree, human beings, Bnei Adam. And besides that, even between us, we don't have to correct the evil. It's enough for us to correct the relationship in the 10. And within the entire grand reality, if I correct my 10, that all I want is to control the entire reality in the group and in each and every state. I have my own opinion, I have to express it, and even if I don't want to express it, and even if I'm restraining myself and I'm suppressing myself, that's also a kind of control. So how can I, in a group, scrutinize this quality of singularity? That's my first question. Please.
The quality of my singularity in the group is exactly opposite to what we are used to with regards to singularity. Singularity we think of is like me, and in the group it's how much I can step over that me in order to integrate with deficiencies and desires of the group itself, how much I can be part of the system and by that contribute, and not how much I bring my own wisdom and wit.
And as long as I don't reach this state, or even in this state, there's this danger that a person can ask, how can I contribute? What about me? Am I really giving an effort? But this is a serpent. It's like being crippled. You just cut yourself from the whole by this force of the eye.
Yeah, and the scrutiny keeps growing in the group as I try to connect to the friends, and then I discover how I see myself as an individual.
Try to connect as much as we can and let the light screw each one to his correct place.
Yeah, also the question is, how do I, Iran? Let's not delude ourselves that there's something else. Everyone is working, is doing something. We just have to come to a state that against the study and what we hear, we feel ourselves opposite inside. So the mind is working, but like the friend said, it's handicapped. And so I have to invite the light, the Creator, that will come connect me with the friends.
Yeah. In the beginning, it's the recognition of evil. When I discover that this quality of singularity only wants to control, but later it has to be inverted. It has to be for the sake of the society. To the extent that I discover this singularity, the recognition of evil has to be inverted. How do I do it? Only if I yearn to connect to the friend. To that extent, this will be exposed for me. In no other way can I expose this quality of singularity.
When we have that recognition of evil already, I can try to translate and direct that singularity to that of the group. That's where I need to be invested. That's where what I want to discover together with the friends.
Yeah, to see how much I can add to the connection, to the 10, to the friends, how I can add my quality of singularity into the 10.
Here's an example. When there is such a state that you feel that everything you'll add will only subtract, so what do you do?
And we're going to read excerpt number 2 from the article, The Peace by Baal Sulam. Nature, like a skillful judge, punishes us according to our development. For we can see that to the extent that humankind develops, the pains and torments surrounding our sustenance and existence also multiply. Thus, you have a scientific, empirical basis that His providence has commanded us to keep with all our might the mitzvah of bestowal upon others in utter precision, in such a way that no member from among us would work any less than the measure required to secure the happiness of society and its success. And as long as we are idle performing it to the fullest, nature will not stop punishing us and take its revenge. And besides the blows we suffer today, we must also consider the drawn sword for the future. The right conclusion must be drawn that nature will ultimately defeat us, and we will all be compelled to join hands in following its mitzvot with all the measure required of us.
Meaning either by a path of suffering or blows, the path of suffering it's called, or by ourselves getting smarter and understanding that we should hear and do. Because eventually we will become corrected and be in the final correction, and like the Creator, there's no argument over that. It will happen that way, and in any case. The question is this: where can we bring the force to correct ourselves with a request, with drawing the upper force, and the recognition that we should do that against our ego that rules us, that rules literally everything? Where will it take the force to correct ourselves in a way that's not suffering or light? Sorry, in a way that is not suffering but in the path of light. We see just how impossible this is. And yet, still, go ahead.
A person can only get force from the friends, and even to understand what correction means, because we think we come from the shattered state, the I myself has to find the force to correct something. So no, if you do that, it's the opposite of correction. And you don't have anything to correct. Reality is whole. The only thing you have to correct is that you should turn to the Creator. And it's the opposite of what you think, the opposite of the opposite of the opposite. And only by the friends can you even come close to that.
Well, the direct answer, where to take strength is only from the 10. Through the 10, we want to draw the light that will come and correct us. The work is to discover exactly how to do that.
Yeah, I have to repeat this direct answer time and time again. We can only draw forces from the connection between us. When we sit together and we exert to feel as one, as much as we work this way with the purpose of revealing the upper force between us, it will awaken and work. That's the whole trick. That's what we're trying to do here in the Congress between us.
We don't really have the force to correct ourselves. We can't correct ourselves. We can, however, through the group and the books, understand what substance we were made of, what matter was I made of, and how we're opposite to what the friends describe and talk. And it's supposed to reach a state where I can bear it, where I want to be like what I study, like what we hear. That by itself is a call for the Creator, and that desire is a new desire in reality. That's what we're creating, a desire to bestow.
Yeah, something wonderful is happening in this Congress. I believe the friends that they yearn to connect to me. What I'm saying is, everything depends on that. If I bring myself sufficiently with my request to a place where I can really get it, that the friends are all yearning, and I'm the only one standing in the way of this process happening, in this place I understand that everything we've been talking about for years is essential. This true annulment, the request for annulment, the request for this small restriction I must do, so that I really accept them as great ones who want to connect to me, really want to come closer to the Creator.
And I'll add that according to the law, there needs to be a certain quota of exertion. And that quota of exertion is in one line, in alignment with our cry for help. And when I look at previous conventions, I think we all see that there's progress, that we're doing this more deeply, that we're connecting more internally, and we have to just pick up the pace, and it will happen more and more.
We can only correct ourselves if we put ourselves inside, we insert ourselves as in a way of subjugation into the society. We see in this Congress how many forces we're getting. It's crazy. You see the worldly, all the friends, everyone's so inspired. You're walking in the path of light. There are no torments. just wash ourselves all the time through this acting and envy and going into the tent. You'll see it's possible. You have to work all the time. In the end, the light works.
I don't feel at all like I was in any convention until this one. This is the first time you suddenly realize who the friends are. For years and years, you do, and then suddenly it hit me. It hit me strong, and there needs to be great gratitude for this. And I, can't go with "it'll come." We heard from Rav in the first day of the convention that it's possible right now. So we need something for it to happen now. It's not "will come." There's no longer time for it, and strength enough, just enough. Yeah.
I think this happened a few times in this Congress, and you start anew. In this environment, you get Rav. It turns out that it doesn't work. It doesn't work. There are a few things here, and because we don't have a lot of time, I don't want to start all these exercises. When you come to it or you won't come to it, we talked about it already. I just need to remind you what the writings say. After we completely become despaired of our own forces, what we need to do, we must do then, recall the Creator and cry out to Him. When we cry out to Him, and also many times until we become despaired, it doesn't help. Then we are reminded that one must not cry out for his own sake, only for the sake of the friend. That's what the Creator hears. And if I truly reach a state that the correction of my friend is more important for me than my own correction, well, just a little bit is enough. The Creator understands. He organizes all these things for us, and it's all by the upper system that organizes for us this difference of potentials between the requests and the answers, the responses. So, once each one helps his friend, and we're asking to save the friends rather than myself, then it works, and we start discovering this correct formula, and the correction is on its way already. Please, talk about this formula.
This
correct perception is completely opposite to my mind. You try and try, and eventually you see that you suffer and you can't do anything and you're despaired. Then you have to think about the friend and pray for him. And not so clear to me, but probably it's possible to do it, and only with the help of the friends.
What formula are we talking about? A prayer of many, correction, what else? Despair, prayer of many, reaching. If I'm asking to save the friends rather than myself, then it works. We start discovering the right formula. We start seeing the path. Talk about it. So what's the formula that precedes this one? So we have to try to ask, to request to save the friends, to awaken the friends through this game. Even when you don't have the desire, you're hoping that the Creator will awaken the right formula in us.
I think it's actually very simple, because nothing else works. You ask to save yourself, nothing happens. It's not like it's moving anywhere. So I heard many times to say, let's try, and I don't think it necessarily works in the beginning, but the light works from the accumulation of efforts, and we come to a feeling, to a prayer that is felt on the flesh. And when there's this critical mass, in the gathering, that it enables us to feel the prayer of the hearts that comes together and tickles your heart.
Yeah, and the more friends understand the extent of the inner despair they reach, you don't have to talk about it. You can smile, but inside you reach this yearning out of the despair. So it's words. There are no words there anymore. We all feel it. When a person comes with a very clear deficiency, there is no word anymore. There's no speech, only feeling and emotion. This is the special place we can reach, where we don't talk anymore. Only the inner yearning friends give each other.
So really, how do we come to the despair? As long as we don't feel like we've done everything and tried everything, and in a certain amount that lead us to despair, it's not going to be there. In order to do that, we have to increase and increase and increase together with the friends all the time.
Yeah, we also have to work with each other. I'm constantly thinking of myself instead of the friends. But the moment I see the friends outside caring for each other, helping each other, I'm told that the most important thing is to pray for the friend rather than yourself. And a person starts understanding the most important thing is to save your friend. We have to really wash ourselves and not be afraid of it. That's the place to do the work.
So let's begin. I will begin. I'll begin. I'll join. And I really, really want to that you will make it. That
Rav, how do we practically help each other within our small groups to become despaired of our own forces? Not to just try it. A person can go 1,000 years this way, trying all kinds of methods and excuses, all these things, crying for himself, asking for him. Nothing will help. But how can we help a person become despaired of his own forces? How can we help a person become despaired from turning to the Creator? Gershon, you wanted to write all these things down? Next. How can we promise him that it won't do? It won't help to turn to the Creator. How can we help him understand that only the request for the friend is what saves a person from his evil inclination? And he can rise above his ego this way. How can we convince the friend that the Creator only answers such an address when I'm asking for a correction for the friend rather than myself? How do we reach such discernments? And then we already start realizing the right method of correction. Please.
If it
was clear over the table that everyone would feel that if we feel that we're in spirituality, then we're already there. And then I hear in my ears that one friend says that we are in despair or not in despair, or talks about states that we went through 2 years ago or something. And I got nothing besides praying for the friends. That's the despair.
How do we convince our friend? I think the best way to convince is showing him that others are successful and he isn't. Successful in addressing the Creator. They corrected themselves. Even if it's just acting. Because he sees others succeeding, maybe he'll become despaired of the way he's trying right now, and he'll try a different way.
in my natural perception, I think of you as miserable and that I have to convince you and I need to reach something. But actually, I need to convince myself. I need to persuade my heart, my own heart, how to see that you are great and be envy at you. Because I don't know, it's difficult for me to come and convince. It's
as if you're my heart. You're a reflection of my desire. When I see you distant from the goal, I see the truth about myself, where I am. Then I can ask a correction for you, but it's actually correcting the I. Excuse me, Shiovitz, that I'm talking about myself all the time, but I just can't understand how to understand it. We're talking about Adam, a human being, that these are parts of reality, and I discover myself through this. I'm asking for others, but it's actually my soul.
I recognize that my prayer and my persuasion is missing here towards the friends. What does that mean? It means that everyone has a certain effort they have to put in on the table. So he knows that what he projects to the friends is what will happen eventually. If through my example I project prayer for myself, or I don't know in what way, because no one hears the other's prayers, but in a way that of some radiation outwards, that I'm always praying for the friends. And I have no other thought, God forbid, of looking at myself and caring for myself, and that I'm already in that, I'm inside of that all the time, and through this, even friends who may feel ashamed will begin to pray for them, if they pray for themselves.
I see it in two dimensions. One dimension is theory, and we learn from Rav in the books how much the prayer for yourself only ruins. The second dimension is practice. In practice, we have to set an example from the friends, because that's how we grow. We see the greatness. We see how it affects the friends and the group and how much it brings everyone closer. That's what we should do. And we learn from examples. When theory meets practice, it permeates. It goes inside and deeper and deeper. And that's how it works.
First of all, let's increase the connection between us. Let's create such a fireball, the center of the 10 here, and the connection between us that will give us the answers. And we simply have to convince each and every moment, in each and every action, to convince each other that we have to pray for each other. And we have no other way, me for myself, because I bring ruin like that. The moment I just don't see any other example. The moment we convince ourselves that we are going to concrete prayer for the friends, then.
What does it mean to ask for correction for a friend? I really don't know. You said you don't feel comfortable because we feel distant, but explain to me, please. I'm serious. I really don't know. What does it mean to ask for a correction for the friend? What does it mean? If I'm asking for a correction, what does it mean? That I see him corrupt? I really don't know, and I really want you to explain. I don't know. It's a special time. I was given this desire, so please take this to explain it to me so I can work.
I refuse seeing you far.
Rav, if we are successful with time, meaning we hasten time a little bit, meaning we ourselves march forward to a certain extent, so everything's okay. You can increase your pace a bit more or a bit less, and accordingly you get some help, a bit more or a bit less. And we don't know, we don't go down below the zero line to the minus, where you get a lot of torments. But if we can't detect the right direction and to help each other, then what happens is negative states start acting upon us, both in the group and outside the group. There is no other reason for anything bad. It's just the Creator wanting to help us advance towards the goal. It's clear that there is no one else besides Him. However, if we neglect the care we should give to ourselves, then this appears either in internal problems or external ones. What does the verse say about it?
Excerpt number 4, Baal Salam writes to us in the introduction to the book of Zohar, item 71. In such a generation, all the destructors among the nations of the world raise their heads and wish primarily to destroy and to kill the children of Israel.
The nations of the world in us are our uncorrected desires, our corrupt desires. And the children of Israel are Yashar Kel, Israel, straight to the Creator, the ones who want to advance towards the goal. So here, what we do is we determine the ratio between them, a balance. Either this one is more or the other is more. Either the ones whose desires yearn for the goal, they are above, and then the corporeal ones are below. It depends what importance we give either to this one or to that one. So if we don't consider our opportunity for correction, then both inside us, the nations of the world, which are all the disputes, the egoistic disputes, start awakening, and also externally with regards to us, upon us. They start coming and all kinds of problems start settling on us in various countries. I hear in different groups suddenly sickness, suddenly they have their problems with the government, problems with the accommodation. We had all kinds of problems. Here too we have enough problems. Where does that come from? Because we don't correctly balance, we don't correctly advance, increasing the importance of the correction as opposed to the corruption that still lies among us. So that's why, what does he say? In such a generation,
all the destructors among the nations of the world raise their heads and wish primarily to destroy and to kill the children of Israel. As it is written, no calamity comes to the world but for Israel.
Whoever aims himself to the correction, to the goal, if he doesn't aim himself correctly or sufficiently according to the intensity he can by the conditions that the Creator gave him, then he has to be awakened instead of the positive force pulling him to correction, because he got these conditions already. If he's lazy, he'll get the negative force. He himself, the group or a person in themselves will awaken. By that they awaken the negative force. Yes?
As it is written that they cause poverty.
The ones that yearn but not enough for correction, they themselves,
as it is written in the above corrections, that they cause poverty, ruin, robbery, killing, and destruction in the whole world.
This is something we mustn't forget. We have no choice. We have to understand that whatever happens in the world happens only as a result of the lack of success of our own correction. That's why when we see the world, we have to remember again that the world is only a projection of our internality, and that's why we have to hurry up as much as we can in order to correct the connection between us. None of us correct himself. We're correcting the connection between us. How can we organize the system, to see the system? How does it fall into place? A bit more, a little bit less. We're trying to detect the direction, detect the connection, which is what should be corrected, rather than each one correcting himself. Each one has to pray for the friend. Each one has to be concerned about the connection in the group. If you let it go at a certain point, maybe I forget about the correction altogether, or maybe I'm only concerned about correcting myself, which is worse than forgetting. Or maybe I'm already thinking of the friends and I want to correct them, how, accordingly, can we say what internal or external problems we might feel on ourselves? That we ourselves awaken them from that general, complete system. Please.
We each have to make an effort to forget about oneself and focus on the connection between us right here and now in the workshop. Otherwise, we will stay with a lot of intellect and not a lot of correction.
It's a difficult day today. We just have to see it all as one body. There's a point in time where you stop looking at yourself and you no longer care about what's going on with you. And all you care about is the group. And you look at them and you see how much you can awaken them. How can you help them and push the friends to do more exertion? How can you help them connect more, pray more, ask more? This point where you let go of yourself and you start only being in them. That's the point we should be in.
It's like it's not absorbed, even fictional. You know, the relationships we're talking about, yeah, great, nice, and hunky-dory, we're connecting, and that's reality. Everything happening in the world right now depends on this relationship. This is unparalleled, and it sounds, but that's how it is, and Kabbalists explain it, the Rav explains it, and so we have to make that connection between us and only work on that. Push the only button, so to speak, the connection between us.
Actually, this persistence, when you're stubborn and you're asking for the adhesion of the friends and you're asking for extra connection and love being revealed between us, that's exactly where you discover all the other things that take the volume inside me.
And in that, we create our reality. What's the reality that we create? We can't be mistaken that so that the next frame will be crooked. If I don't project right now the future state, then I have to take on the next frame in a more crooked way. And that's the law. You didn't manage? Okay. Let's just, paint this picture in a bit more of a harsh way and take this into account.
Maybe we should also think about annulment. Yearning, I feel the yearning strongly, but let's annul a little bit more with this yearning, with this longing.
We have one place to work, and that's the 10. That's where we have to correct the connections between us and always see how the friends around me are my soul, how I have to work with them on connection, see them as great, pray for them. Really work on that, not run away from that place of work.
The biggest problem that can happen is that it will just pass away. Meaning we'll go back to this routine, the compromise, letting ourselves just be there and being pessimistic, and we mustn't let it happen. Mustn't.
That's why all I have now is the moment we have right now, where we include with us all the friends all over the world, both those who are here and those who are not. We'll make another effort to put our hearts in friction, and that's our work, that's our reward. Whatever happens in the next moment happens, but let's make the effort that we were even just given an opportunity to engage in these things and deal with that and bring contentment to the Rav and the Kabbalists and the Creator.
And by this, actually, we're starting to ignite this system. The more we push ourselves to the connection, out of this we'll discover the distance between us. Out of this, a need will become for the Creator to dwell between us. From the correction that the Creator will bring, the next corruption will be revealed.
Maybe do we even feel this thing? Maybe we feel just a little spark of the whole situation of despair, that kind of says, okay, let it go. And maybe that's a place where we need to ask, and not us. It's just let's ask together right now. Let's do this together. That's the status where we all unite as one. First, for a moment, let's just step over ourselves and just ask for that common force together.
Ask the Creator to unite us.
I join the effort.
And
what we want to see is how we project greatness and how we're all on fire, that the goal is so close. One more step, we're going to attain it. We really won't let this idleness, this indifference to separate us. We won't let us be weak. It's so close. We're going to do it so soon, just to come out a little bit out of myself to the friend.
There's no indifference and no weakness. There's only greatness and just this crazy upliftment and an opportunity on a global scale here.
Thank you, friends.
To always keep yourself above yourself. There's always this point that is not inside you, it's above you, it's where the group is. And be with them, in them all the time, and look at yourself from above, even if though it's suffering or whatever it is, but you're above that and you're glued to the group.
First of all, let's be thankful to Oran. Someone is impressed. Good thing someone is impressed here. Let's not forget that every moment that there's this, there's some inner ball we're passing away.
מושך אותי למטה, מכסה לי את העיניים, הוא תופס אותי באוזן, וסוגר לי את העיניים. לפני רגע היה לי כוח, אבל עכשיו אני חמור, אליך רוצה לברוח, ושוב אני בבור. את האור, את האור, רק איתו נוכל לשבור את הרוע המאושר, הגנב של הקדושה. את האור, את האור, רק איתו נוכל לשבור את הרוע המאושר, הגנב של הקדושה. Я хочу сбежать от гада, чтобы он мне не строил козни, отделить его мне надо. Верный способ 10 казней. Я был белый и пушистый и стремился быть с друзьями. Он велел мне возгордиться. Трах! И вот я снова в яме. Это он, царь Египта фараон. 10 казней на него, фараон на моего. Это он, царь Египта фараон. 10 казней на него, фараон на моего. Ла-ла-ла, ла-ла-ла-ла-ла, ла-ла-ла-ла-ла-ла-ла. את האור, את האור, רק איתו נוכל לשבור את האור המאושר, הגנב של הקדושה. This is the night when I can't wake myself. I need you here. I'm calling for your help. I keep on searching, searching for light. My heart is frozen in this broken piece of life. Won't you please, please, please shining light when we unite this crazy light. We are the people. We are born to love. Love's a shining light when we unite this crazy light. I'll be with you. Heal this broken path. Oh, and the misery, I'll give you all I have. I'll be your shoulder, always around. Just hold on to my hand, and I won't let you down. Won't you please, 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 please help me? Let's do it together. No one's ever on their own. We'll break these walls between us. Let's feel the emptiness, and we'll never be alone. We are the people. We are born to love. Love's a shining light when we unite in this crazy light. We are the people. We are born to love. Love's a shining light when we unite in this crazy light. We are the people. We are born to love. Love is shining light when we unite in this crazy light. We are the people.
Women. We talked about the fact that either we have a negative awakening in the groups, or by awakenings we get from other authorities, we come to disregard our inner correction, because any calamity that comes to the world is only for the ones who are directed straight to the Creator, Yashar Kel. And we have no choice. We have to remember it. So, he tells us in excerpt number 5, he continues. In excerpt number 5, Rav Kook says that great is my faith that all this noise in the world of the hour of the passing of this world wherein we live did not come except for the sake of Israel. We are presently called to a great and holy role, to fulfill it in will and reason, to build ourselves and all the world that was destroyed together with us. So,
how do we not forget that besides the fact that I don't need to pray for myself, but rather pray for the friend, I also need to do it for the world as well as for the Creator. How do we build this chain of relationship in a simple, direct way where we have this formula and then I succeed? Please.
This formula is implanted in each one. It exists in each one for sure. Each one was here, otherwise we wouldn't be here. You have to revive it. You have to give life to it. Just as we're doing now. What can I say? How? I don't know. Pray so that we can really be a loyal pipeline for this force who awakened us.
Yeah, I also agree. The prayer has to be renewed each time. The fact that each time I somehow pinch my own heart, not to be indifferent, to be always alert, and that there are many opportunities, especially today. By that I make my effort for the friends.
To remind the friends. If I remind the friends, I should also remember. That's how it runs, like fire in the field of thorns.
We have to create a network between us of prayer and requests for the friend and importance. And this is our most important thing. I alone will forget, but if you will be in arvut towards me, I will not forget, and the same I will do for you. And we have to create this network to only ask for the friends and only pray for the friends.
Yeah, if you try to focus on what the friends are bringing, what they do, what they say, it all comes from that. All these things are so distant. The world, the Creator, I have you here, and you are the way the Creator is talking to me, and that what I should do is try to always think, what am I going to do with it now, and where? That's it, only you. Really, this whole story of the reality and the friends, it sinks in, and it's beautiful.
Another beautiful thing here is that it doesn't work directly, that I don't think of myself, then I think about the friends, or I think about the world, and then I think about the Creator. But every stage is like a leap towards the higher stage. The whole point of the game is to eventually pray to the Creator. All the rest is just the playground.
Everything that relates to not to forget or who to pray to and all that is only the group. It's a network that lies between us, want it or not. We just have to do it and pray for the friends. And so we're all part of this network. We just have to make sure it's always alive between us, this network of arvut.
I still didn't understand the formula exactly. Why do I need to pray for the world? If it's my own replica, then why talk about this copy? We're talking about the relationship between us, the connection between us. And also, it's not clear to me what's to pray to the Creator. Why the Creator if we are connected between us? It's surely with the Creator's help. So what else do we need to add here?
Great friends, beloved friends. This feeling and what's going on here is given to us by the upper force, the force that works in reality, that giving us this picture of us being impressed. We want to be a pipeline to pass the light to the world. The world is in a real bad state, real bad. And it's possible that everything that's going on is to show us our role, to pass it on to the world so that everyone can scrutinize the essence of life, scrutinize the connection between everyone.
Yeah, my prayer is always growing, and it's supposed to grow.
Moving on to excerpt number 8 from the Arvut article by Bala Sulam. Item 17. This is to speak of the Arvut, the mutual guarantee, when all of Israel became responsible for one another. Because the Torah was not given to them, before each and every one from Israel was asked if he agreed to take upon himself the mitzvah, the precept, of loving others in the full measure. Expressed in the words, love thy friend as thyself. This means that each and every one in Israel would take it upon himself to care and work for each member of the nation, and to satisfy all their every needs, no less than the measure imprinted in them to care for his own needs. And once the whole nation unanimously agreed and said, we shall do and we shall hear, each member of Israel became responsible that nothing shall be missing from any other member of the nation. Only then did they become worthy of receiving the Torah, and not before. With this collective responsibility, each member of the nation was liberated from worrying about the needs of his own body and could keep the mitzvah, love thy friend as thyself, in the fullest measure, and give all that he had to any needy person, since he no longer cared for the existence of his own body, as he knew for certain that he was surrounded by 600,000 loyal lovers who were standing ready to provide for him.
We, after we think carefully about what we're being demanded, we can say it's impossible, and then simply give up. And that is correct. It's true. But there's something else here. That our life becomes very easy. What the Creator says, that if you hear my word of Torah, it's all easy. All of it becomes easy. Why? Because you have to ask for the friend, and he asks for you. Then, let's think about how easy it is to ask for the friend rather than oneself. Why our ego doesn't resist so much towards the friend? Why can we remember it a lot more than if we aim for ourselves? Why is our vut the condition for the reception of the Torah, for the corrections? Without our vut, the corrections don't work. Only if we arrange the relation of our vut from one to the other, everything suddenly becomes easy. The Creator is with us, and He accepts the arvut. Everyone gives it to the other. Please sign here, and everything's arranged. How do we come to the arvut between us in the group? So that everyone cares for the others. Even if you say it's not others, it's the first 9 sefirot of your own soul. But how do we do this? And then, as written, the whole Torah is easy. The attaining the light, which is the meaning of the Torah, is simple if we relate correctly to the condition of our vut. Talk about it. And he says this, look, and this is to speak of the arvut, that they all became responsible for one another because the Torah was not given to them before each and every one of them from Israel was asked if he agreed to take upon himself the mitzvah of loving others in the full measure. So, everyone cares for the other. Everyone cares for the 10 or in the 8. Doesn't matter. As long as the force of correction reveals between us. The Creator is really the guarantor. It's like when you sign it in the bank. Your signature is not worth a lot, but the bank stands behind you. So, same thing here. The Creator stands behind us, and He holds this arvut. We just have to think about the other. Please. How do we revive this arvut? How do we give life to this arvut?
Yeah, if a person is a guarantor for another person, he's actually free to perform this precept of love thy friend as yourself. He doesn't have to do anything else. That's the only thing you exist for. And of course, except for the security, you're getting love and the light and this whole understanding of this togetherness. And they say it's like a spring coming from out of him. That's clear. But how do you come to that? By annulment and importance. These are the two things we have to strengthen.
From reminding to each other all the time and raising the importance all the time that we have to build this connection between us, that we have to ask for each other, that every moment we need to renew the connection between us, and we have to work with that. Let's work with it.
Yeah, and again, if you look at it, you see it's happening. Everyone here is keeping the arvut, the way he behaves, and each of the 6,000 people here, they're all in arvut. That's why they came here. And this is why every action they're doing is an action of arvut, for you to connect. You have all the best conditions. Everyone's maintenance, and everyone's here only for you to connect. Now there's a question. So how do I repay them for that? If this is what a person is thinking, to look at the greatness of the arvut that his friends are showing him, on the other hand, he can repay. That's it. It's there.
And it all starts from the workshop. It all starts from whether I'm answering the question for myself, and I bring my own personal state instinctively, and everything. Then everything seems like rocks and like death and very difficult. Or we just kind of add to each other, and then there's this sort of vortex, and then there's a force that later kind of like holds everyone, and then and that force keeps all the system together, and from there it spreads to the whole world.
Yeah, it looks like a spiral. We're motivating ourselves and elevating ourselves as high as we can. If each one gives as much as he can, we're causing a vortex, and we can rise to new heights.
Yeah, arvut is the condition for the reception of the Torah, and it says the whole Torah is easy. But still, to reach that condition, the path is rife with obstacles that you can't just put aside. So the path becomes easy, but there's a need for exertion on our part, which is fine. That's the approach. But what I feel is we need to reach that point of increasing the friends, seeing that dear point in everyone. If you were as precious as my kids to me, I would go out and do everything. And before every friend now speaks in the workshop, I just slightly look for his uniqueness, so that the words he says will shine to me, and then I can more easily come out to him.
Yeah, seeing the greatness of the friends is a precondition, for sure. And Rav also asked, why does the ego find it easier to pray for the friend? I don't know, maybe, what do I care? Maybe I should let the friends bestow to me. What do I care? To see them and bestow. Maybe I'll see them parts of me, and it will be easier for me to ask. But as Dudi said, there's a way, there's a notch in the heart. You can open it, and the friends are there, and you start increasing this place.
I am taking Dudi's recommendation, the simplest point of connection. I had this in a renewal that the Creator is a guarantor for all your action. Here we have the situation where every point of arvut you give to the friends is actually a point of arvut you get from the Creator. And so it's like a bank that you don't take much from. You take maybe just a few dollars, but it's actually infinite.
So that's it. If you sign a guarantee for someone in the bank, it has to be real important for you, this guy. So we have to have the importance of the gold, just as important or more. That's it. When I see all the efforts the friends from the World Kli did in order to reach this place, it becomes clear that they're ready for the arvut. All the efforts they're making to break the walls, and I understand I have to make the effort. I have to annul myself and to see. Well, in short, you have to do it. Yep. Why is it easier? Maybe because by this the will to receive helps us a little bit, because giving feels good. Gives you that you feel great. I'm bestowing to you. Psh, I'm so great. And then a person admits, wow, I feel so good to be empty in my will to receive. My will to receive is despair, and I can do clean work. All I want is that. Just have the opportunity to act like a dumb person, like a crazy person. I don't know how, and I don't know why. Just gratitude. This concern works twice. And the first time, you stop caring for yourself. You're released from these concerns. The second time, you're caring for the friends. Okay, we're going to read from Rabash, Volume 2, letter number 40. When you start feeling that the love of your friend, you immediately become happy and you have pleasure, because the fact that your friend loves you is new for you. He always knew that he alone cared for his own sake. But the moment he finds out that his friend cares for him, it evokes immeasurable joy in him, and he can no longer care for himself. This means that we may simply, in a very simple way, bring the friends to a state where they can keep the arvut, love, and everything, only under the condition that we give them the feeling that we care for them, that we love them. That's it, we solved the problem. We were in a dead end from the beginning of the lesson. It's been an hour and a half already, right? We don't know how to keep, what to keep. We're despaired, a bit here, a bit there. We're confused. And the solution is simple. If I can show the friend, not that I love him, I don't have these corrections yet. I don't love him. Yeah. However, if I show him that I care for him, that I love him, I show him. That's enough. It's enough for him in order to face his own inclination. I neutralize it. Neutralize this person from his self-care. And he starts caring for others. And so, from this falseness we do between us, from this falseness, we awaken the light that reforms. And as a result of this lie, we help the friends go into a truthful correction. Because what does he write? While he starts feeling the love of his friend, immediately he starts feeling joy and happiness, because the fact that his friend loves him, this is new for him. He always knew that he's the only one who cares for himself, but the moment he discovers that his friend is caring for him, it evokes joy in him. He can no longer care for himself. No longer. He cannot. We control a person this way. If we show him we care for him, we control him. That's it. He comes out of the control of his evil inclination. What does this remind you? What rule? One does not deliver himself from imprisonment. That's the way it is. Is this clear? Talk about it. How can we, from this moment on, do this? Go ahead. How will we bring the friends out? How should I say it? Out of this network of the Sitra Achra, the evil inclination. Only by a simple thing, showing them that we care for them and we love them. That's it. Come on. However, we have to show them this, to such an extent that they will no longer care for themselves. Come on. Like a baby on the hands of his mother. He doesn't care for himself. He feels he is being loved. That's it. This love, it neutralizes him. Is there anyone who doesn't want to be in such a society? I see such sweet smiles. Here I identify them. Oh, of course, everyone wants that, right? Come on, let's do that for ourselves. Go ahead. This is the moment. It finally is here. Truth is, this verse, I remember many times when I was impressed, I was just sending them this verse. I didn't even know what their name is. Just choose someone from the list of duties. I just want to surprise him and just to ignite this person. So I sent him this verse. And it's like magic. We need not talk about how much we love or any slogans. We're sick and tired of all the slogans. We just have to show this care, and that's it. Look, Hanoch, I can't. I look at your smile. I support you, and I want to do everything for him. Or Gershon, this morning I felt this feeling from him in the radio. Every friend here in this Congress, you can feel it.
I'm also that way with Hanoch. I think we were doing it now, getting help from above, and probably this force we feel now is the force of Arvut that gives us strength to care for the friends and really detach to some extent from the self-concern and to put the thoughts and the heart towards the friends. It also manifests in what happens to this externally. Love is in the air, right, Duty?
I'll just continue the examples of the friends. I once learned from Ulyanov how to hug. So if you hug someone, after 10 seconds, he taps your back and he says, okay, release. And after 10 more seconds, he doesn't understand. After 20 more seconds, this person is completely confused, doesn't know what reality is in altogether.
Yeah, it blurs out the, help you penetrate through different tactics. I agree with the friends. I forget the friends. Forgot the question from because all the friends here. But, yeah, right. So I wanted to say about this amazing example we had in the 10 when a friend was in a really harsh state. And only the effort to care for the friend from dawn to dusk, the whole day, reality changes. It just changes. Suddenly he stops carrying these things on his own back.
And when you see how you can bring a friend out of a bad state, I think that's the greatest happiness that can ever be. Even if it's just a hug or some other way, if you put your heart into it in truth, and you help him and he comes out of it, it's tremendous joy. It's tremendous joy, and it connects you even more.
It just leads us to open our eyes. Every friend is so special. He has a spark, and it's right in front of us. We just have to open our eyes and see it. We have these, we just heard a few stories, and then it's just such a practical example. And you can just see how all the friends are doing that and just generate that atmosphere all the time.
Yeah, and the truth is the friends are constantly showing this. That's why you have the feeling that no matter what happens, no matter where you are, they're there. That's why there is no fear. You're not afraid of any state or nothing because you know you're being held. And I'm talking out of experience. I'm not just talking about something somewhere in the air. It's experience. These are states that people just held me, lifted me, and put me somewhere else. It's only the devotion of the friends.
We will read from Noam Elimelech, from Likutei Shoshana. One should always pray for his friend, because for himself he cannot really work. One cannot save himself from prison, but he is saved if he is answered for his friend right away. So everyone must pray for his friend, and it turns out that one works for the other and the other works for the other until they are all answered. And this is what is written, that Israel are responsible for each other. Responsible means mitigation, because they mitigate each other's state by praying for each other, and by that they are answered.
Do you understand a little better what arvut means? I show the friend that I love him. By that, I help him come out of his ego and forget about himself. And I compel him to do it. It's an obligation. I work on the network. He can't avoid it or do anything. It works on him in a way that forces him to forget about himself, not to care for himself. Try it. Try to do it for a certain particular friend, and you'll see that he's like a baby on his mother's hands. He can't think of himself. We can neutralize the evil inclination of each and every one this way. And if we can do it, each one towards the others, the group is already all set. Next.
And this is from the writings of Rabash, Volume 1, regarding the matter of love of friends. One must show the love in his heart to his friends, because by doing so, by this revelation, he causes the friend to awaken his heart towards the friends, so that the friends too feel that each and every one is engaged in love of friends. And the benefit from that is that he receives a stronger force to work on love of friends with greater might and energy, because the power of love of each and every one is included in his friend. And then it turns out that instead of having just one force to engage in love of friends, if the group is of 10 friends, he is now integrated with 10 other forces that recognize the need to engage in love of friends.
In the group, we have a real hole, a pit, from which we can draw more and more forces all the time, without any limit. There's no limit here. It's all by the condition of the arvut. We think that arvut is something... No, it's the foundation of a corrected society, a corrected system, the general spiritual system. It's the law that connects all parts of creation together to one mutual system, where creation is equal to the Creator by this. That's the meaning of the arvut, the law of the connection between egoistic parts, turning them into a form that resembles, that is similar to the Creator. Well, let's continue. Or maybe you should discuss this a little bit, a few minutes. How can we, from now on, determine our relationship in the 10? But in a way that this moment is the new moment. Go ahead. And it doesn't matter that you're sitting in incidental tens. Today you're sitting here, tomorrow you're sitting somewhere else. Or maybe next lesson you're going to sit in a different way with someone else. That doesn't matter. Arvut is the general law that works on all parts of nature, in all different levels. It's only us who should join it. Go ahead.
It's not as though it's already there. Everything already exists, just standing by for us to use it correctly. And also the cure for the ego that it reveals. it looks like it's something that we can't face, but all we need to do is recognize the interdependence and the connection between us, and then the friends can simply neutralize the ego to each other. And even though it's a serpent, it's actually like a little child. We can melt it with love.
I think we can all really feel this rule of the arvut. It was really unclear in the beginning. It's a new state. I didn't understand anything. Suddenly we understand better what we're talking about. We have to act as if we're and really project love and confidence and security. But it's not that, okay, cool, I got it, now let's return to our folly. No, it's a covenant. We decide we're going to do it, and we're trying to project positive example and to embrace each one internally.
I thought even beyond that. Suddenly I had thoughts about that I don't know, there's power in the physical meetings between us. It's just something you can't deny. It exists. What can you do? There's a different level of energy, a different level of doing the inner work too. How do we turn that into something that lives in us, not just now in the break, but it just lives in the 10, in the connection between us?
Yeah, and what we get is that determining that we have to be in arvut is a must for us to exist. I have to do it, and I'll act it out, and the friends will project it, and they'll be in the true state.
And I look at the gap, a difference between how I enter the workshop and how we are now, and I think we're the closest to the arvut that I ever felt before. So l'chaim, friends.
What we have to do is create a relationship of love in our 10, of arvut, of the right connection, and each time to exert on this love of friends, investing in the friends, investing in the 10, confidence and arvut. It's the first and maybe the last opportunity. We can finish it all and reach the final correction. You can do it, not let go.
We have to do it outside, not just inside. Yeah, it works. It really does work. The what Shiovit said, it works like crazy. And physical meetings too. I already said next Friday my wife is overseas. I'm saying openly to the world on broadcast, everyone who wants to is invited to come.
And we're going to have a Zoom meeting so you can all be there. Okay, I'm going to talk about, you know how when a person dies, after he dies, people say how good he was? We should do it the opposite. When he's alive, we should say how good he is.
Yeah, and so you see, as soon as you feel that for us, the smiles are up and everyone feels that everything's lighter and better. And
actually, it's so easy. You see this Hanoch in front of me. Such a strict attorney usually, but look how cute he is. He's smiling. He just wants to love everyone. I'm so impressed of the workshop today. Why? Because I started this morning, I admit, just like you, like real something dirty, something so low. But suddenly when we sit here, just like cleaning the water, purifying water, that's what we're doing here. This is what the workshop is doing. Just like you're recycling garbage and making something good out of it, that's what the workshop does for us.
I got nothing to add to this.
I want to publicize Hanoch's address so that everyone really comes over next week. That's it. It's simple things. We just have to make an effort to be more simple.
And you know, actually, it's not that hard to make an effort. We think it's so difficult, but it's such a barrier we can't cross. But maybe it isn't.
Once again, we get the proof, if you ever thought differently, that the workshop is a tool to reveal the force of bestowal and love. We saw what state we started in.
Rav, now we feel a little bit of the solution of what arvut really gives us. of how to get out of that state where we don't even understand what is demanded of us. How can we do this? What was the issue? What was the problem? What was difficult for us to understand? And what has now become clear that we can, that we are able to come to the connection and revelation of the Creator? What has become clearer to us now?
I think that what's clear is what we said in the beginning of the workshop. A person naturally will try linearly to get to the connection. You can't come out of this hole. You should agree to the state that the friends project you and go with the inner prayer that if the friends would not have chosen to do this effort, you would get nothing. Don't take this good feeling for granted. And if a state of separation comes, be thankful. It's one more opportunity to express your complete dependency on the friends, to the Creator.
I think that I at least know that I depend on the group, and I think, and then eventually you think you need to face that ego and you need to cope with it, and then you discover again that you forgot. You weren't inside, and you forgot about that only the group can help each other do that.
I think there are a few factors here. About myself, I can say that I tried to do it alone. It's like puppets, it wasn't the we that suddenly opened up for us. And I felt this point of concession. Also with the mind instead of the heart, trying to understand things, what they tell us. And one more thing, it's a matter of time. Also, there's nothing to do about it. It takes time to soften the hearts. And now the hearts are soft.
What became clearer to me is this interdependence that exists between us in order to generate that power that enables everyone to work. And another thing that it's clear, but I don't know what to do with it, is that there's this power of the physical meetings that why does it happen when we're physically together, and what do we do when we're not? How do we create that force? It's this distinction that comes back again.
We're going to read excerpt number 14 from the book Sfat Emet, the language of truth. Excerpt number 14 from Sfat Emet, the language of truth. The children of Israel became responsible to correct the whole world by the force of the Torah, and that's what was told to them. For the whole land is mine, the whole earth is mine, and you shall be unto me a nation of priests and a holy people, according to the word of the Creator, for the correction of all creation. Indeed, everything depends on the children of Israel. When they correct themselves, all the created beings follow after them.
This means that we, Bnei Baruch, have now learned how the Arvut, by everyone showing the other how much he cares for him, loves him, helps that person come out of his ego and also work. And if we do this in the group, each and every one to each other, then this group begins to lift like a flying saucer. It begins to rise above its ego. And so it also writes here, however, that we have to do this for the world. So, how can we influence the whole world this way to rid the world of the judgment, meaning to get them rid of the will to receive? Please.
There are a few options we work with. One is that we can always develop a new relation regarding our perception of reality. The world may be the most important part, but it's the furthest away from me in my prayer. What we're doing now is creating connections of Arvut as an example that has to be engraved in me. As a result of this example, when we keep it, we will enable it to pour outwards. You can't work with them. We have to work when it is engraved in my heart, then you can cascade it on.
It works in circles, meaning there's the innermost circle, which is the 10, then a little bit more external, which is other 10s, then Israel and the world and everything. And so our difficulty in doing that and completing the work in the 10, we think like, oh, how will we do it with the whole world? It seems so far. But we have to remember that for them, they just need to see our example. That's it. This will already work by itself. They don't need to do our work. So the more external the circle is, the easier it needs to be. We just don't need to be blocked. We just have to open the pipeline.
Yeah, we have a role. We're like the transition. In the transition phase, we have to connect in the closest circle, which is a 10, and then we can go on outward.
And it's kind of similar to that, entrance point to spirituality, where you enter and you start just kind of expanding the circle. This is exactly our role, to create this strong connection in the 10, which is the basis, and from there to all of BB, and then it will just continue and circle. And the main thing there is to enable this approach to people, so that everyone knows that if he wants, that if he feels this certain draw, then where is the website, where's the place, where's the branch. And so everyone knows that how much that adds to the connection with the new yearning. It's how much it's adds. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, we have to remember we're part of a network. There are rules for a network. It's always hard to reach the critical mass of the next degree. But the moment you have this critical mass, you open up some more. We know if 10% of the network adopt something, it will necessarily pass on to everyone. Every network has a tolerance that you have to see how many people have to be connected to something until they reach it. It's like any fashion, any technology. It's the same here. The moment we have a critical mass of people who are walking around the world with a clear feeling that they depend on their friends, and the only connection they have with their friends is through a third factor called the upper force, and that's their internal state. They have nothing to do about themselves. Their whole future goes through the friends, and for that, it will work through the friends. It will become common sense. People will wake up in the morning and say, okay, that's the way it is.
Well, all our life, we know how to work ego versus ego, and when we say that with the 10, we move the ego aside, but actually, on the contrary, when we give love to the friend, it melts his ego. And so we learn that this force of love is something that melts you. And if we bring that force of love to the whole world, it will rid the world of its will to receive, I think.
In this workshop, we really felt on our flesh how we're rubbing the rocks. And a spark was made that heated up the whole hall. So we have to keep on all the time. Don't make all these calculations and accounts on what's going to happen. And it's the same thing in the world. Whatever happens here happens in the world. We got that. It's a projection. We just have to keep on. Don't be so excited about some light we have. Just keep on. Be persistent and devoted to it.
We have to discover the Creator in the connection between us. That by itself will give birth to the desire that will send us to the world.
It seems that from the intensity we attain, you won't be able to maintain it. It will be our mercy and suffering because it's not coming out.
This is from the book Light and Sun. It is known that the main thing is the connection between the friends, that you will come together in love and joy and friendship. And by that, all the judgments are expelled and there's complete mercy revealed in the world. an open chasadim that is revealed by the connection.
Questions, please.
All right, friends, we will now move on to questions. Anyone who wants to ask a question can come here to the center. There are friends here with red hats, and they will refer you to the microphone. Do we have the first question? Is it ready? Please, friends, let's keep quiet. We want to hear our friends' questions. Let's make sure we all hear. We're seated. The lesson hasn't ended yet, of course.
Hello, Rav. I am Igor from Kiev. In the 10, we just discovered that a word or an action can sometimes help a friend, but sometimes I can harm him. The question is regarding the arvut, because it becomes relatively clear what the internal work around the arvut is, but how can I correctly express it externally to the friend?
If we talk about the connection, it's not just example. It has to be with a feedback as well, with an examination of how I influence the friend in order to awaken a certain emotion in him, and that he has to respond. And also I have to see whether I've done it enough and in the correct way. Do I bring a few more friends to influence him? Meaning arvut is the right connection, it's the right network between us. The correct network of connection between us is the arvut. Why? No one works within himself, within his ego. No one. That's one. Two, no one can correct himself. And no one is receiving directly from the Creator anything, but only through the friends. No one turns to the Creator directly. You can't. In the wisdom of Kabbalah, we know that if something is prohibited, it means it's impossible. No one turns to the Creator by himself because it's not going to work. There's no connection. Only through the network of connection between us. And then, when we begin to see all of these conditions, then we see that here, this is a system where you can't really do anything if not for the friends. What you do for them is for the Creator. What you receive from the friends is from the Creator. After the Creator, He is behind them, and that's what we need to determine. So what does it mean that the condition for arvut is the condition for the reception of the Torah? That if we understand we're only going for that, for the correct connection in the group, then you receive help. The light that reforms, the Torah. And then that light fixes you, and then you are already in this arranged network. You receive the revelation of the Creator. What's the revelation of the Creator? The correct relation between us. The correct relation between us that explains this whole reality. And I see it from one end of the world to the other. I am included. I'm included with the rest of the creatures and all the levels of all the souls. So, to your question, we have to be sensitive. We have to learn what to do. But besides bestowing upon the friends There's nothing more. Only that. But to learn that, yeah, and to consult with others and to do it together, that's experience. You need to be experienced. Please? What is that? 15 women with a question?
It's not by chance that we all stand together. My name is Tatiana. I'm from Bulgaria.
She already asked yesterday.
Yes. Our question is how not to confuse the desire to correct someone else with the desire to love others and to show our love to him.
Correcting the others comes from my ego. And if I feel like correcting the others, it's really horrible. I need to immediately look for how do I escape this. Right? No criticism on others can appear in me. No criticism. Only how do I help the others rise above the problems, the troubles, their ego. But only that. That is called a correction. That's a correction. Only through example. By the way, also generally in education, what makes good education? If we want to educate kids, etc., only through example. Only example. As much as you can have pressures and beatings, it's not going to work. It's not going to help. Only an example, without words.
Thank you very much. Rav, thank you very much. I came from Japan. I'm Hiro. When I want to do actions for my friends, sometimes I feel I want something for myself as a result of these actions. Even if I do get these emotions,
what to do about them?
Can I do something? Should I do something with others?
Yes. I want to give the friends all kinds of good things. I want to show them the greatness of the Creator, as much as the Creator is great in my eyes, etc., etc., to raise them. And yet, there's also an egoistic goal there that I wish to advance on my own. Okay? Don't wait for that to go away. You can have a lot of egoistic goals to help others. Sure. Yeah. Okay? Wait. About that, I also want to show this book. You see this? This is a book in Japanese. I don't know exactly who worked on it. I know that Yasukuni reviewed it, and Mariko is an editor, right? Yeah. But in any case, this is our friends from Japan producing the first Kabbalah book in Japanese.
And thank you for everything. You're wonderful.
תודה על הכל ואתה נהדר.
My name is Adrian from New York.
אני אדריה מניו יורק.
From the reading it says it turns out that the reason why a person still not seeing that there is more evil in his heart than all of the friends is that he needs more good. What is this good that friend needs?
אנחנו קראנו היום שהסיבה שאנחנו עדיין לא רואים את הרוע בלבנו אלא בלב של חברינו, הסיבה היא לכך היא שאנחנו צריכים יותר טוב. אז מה זה הטוב הזה?
שאנחנו
זה בקטע מספר 15.
We're talking about excerpt number 15, that we see the evil in the friend, we don't see it in ourselves.
Yeah.
In order to see something good in the friend, we should have something good in us. What is this good?
To see good in the friend, I need to love him. Otherwise, how? It's impossible otherwise. That's the law of love. And we, between us, one towards the other, we are in hatred. We're not aware of that because it's our nature, but we hate each other. And to love is something we can't imagine to ourselves what it is. But when I will see in the friend everything that he has in a good and beautiful way, it's an indication that I love him. Understood? It's like mothers here, right? There are some mothers here. How do they look at their children? That my child is the best, most beautiful, successful, and cute, and even without all that, I love him. I love my child. That's it. So, if we want to see good in the friend, we have to achieve love. Otherwise, we won't be able to justify the friend. Very simple. We have to ask for love. Yes.
My name is Denis, I'm from Moscow.
Как мне увидеть, что товарищи показывают мне, что они заботятся обо мне и любят меня?
How to see that the friends are showing their love to me and that they're caring for me, because without it, I won't have the force to do the same for them.
This is a complicated question. Should the friends show me in practice that they care for me so much that I'll be certain that they do? Or the friends don't have to show it to me in practice that they care for me, etc. But I understand that this is how it is. That's a greater degree. It's when there are corrected relations on some level. Therefore, I don't think that we can already jump on it. We're good in even knowing just one thing. Every friend has to show the other that he cares for him, to the point that he sees that he neutralizes the friend's will to enjoy, will to receive, will to be concerned about himself. If I see that the friend is relieved from his desire to be concerned about himself, it indicates that I've acted correctly. We're talking about relationship in a group. Now, okay, all the rest, I don't want to jump further. I wish that from this convention onwards we will finally begin to engage in arvut. That's the main thing. Continue. You want to ask more?
So who should start this work? I should start or the friend should?
What do you mean? I'll wait until the friend shows me that he loves me? How can that be?
That's exactly the question. If I don't see that they care for me,
what do I care? They show it to me or not. I am obligated. If I wish to achieve correction, I'm obligated to care for them. That's my work. I got nothing else to do. Nothing else to do. I could not do anything in regards to the correction of the soul besides that. Only caring for the friends in a group, showing them that I care for them, and that way I must neutralize their self-concern. That's it. And I don't wait that they will be concerned about me or not. Maybe they do and I don't see it. Maybe they're doing a lot of actions. And maybe I'm seeing that they're doing that, but I don't see that they are concerned about me. Let's say now I was given a cup of tea. Is he doing that because of some concern or any other kind of reason? Does he care and know that he wants me to know that I will always have something warm to drink next to me? It depends on us how we feel these things. So I'm not waiting to see some signs of concern from them. I must do that. Just prep a list from morning to evening. How do I care about the day during the friends during the day? Put it in a to-do list on your phone and add some more and more tips and thoughts as you add to it. There's nothing else to be worried about. If you only think about that, you will correct your soul. Literally. Just have a checklist on your phone, like a note on your phone where you can write whatever you want and do it. You will feel how it advances you. That's it. You write down, I need to care about the friend this way, show the friend that way, call or say something all the time around the group. If you think about the 10 and how do I show them that, who am I concerned for them, that's it. That's the correction of the soul. That is the correction of the soul. Good luck. Yaniv found something about this.
A small thing from Rabash, Volume 1. What to demand for in a congregation of friends. The matter of love of friends that is based on love of others, and by that you can reach love of the Creator, is the opposite of what is usually regarded in love of friends. Love of others does not mean that others love me. Rather, it is I who should love the friends.
Please, the next question will be the last question.
Why? That's it? Okay, yes, lady.
Hello, dear Rav. We are from Russia, from Novosibirsk. We are here for the first time in Israel and in the convention. My question is, I know that I'm completely not corrected, and yet, how can I influence the world's correction?
The truth is, there is no condition when someone corrects something, if he's a beginner or he's done it for a long time. It may be a man or a woman, a wise person or even a fool, a person with a very cruel character or a very soft character. There is no difference, because it's all about the quality of the efforts that are equivalent to the soul itself. And this is why a student, even the beginner, at the very beginning, can perform great corrections. And by the way, this is really the way it happens, because before a person really was into the corrections, he really made greater changes in the whole system of souls than what later he does when a person starts understanding and feeling and being included. The entrance into the system is very, very substantial. It really shakes things in a positive way all over the system. That's why new students, when they come, they are very, very important. That's one thing. One more thing is, I want to say about that sometimes a person comes, he is with us for a few months, and maybe years even, then he is gone. That too stems from the same reason, that he already caused the correction that was required in the system for the time being. Because the first corrections are the most important ones. That's why for us it is really advisable to draw people, even if they only come for a few lessons, even if they come for a lecture, even if they come only for a meal and they hear something. Their participation, even if it's almost mechanical, they don't understand, but nonetheless it leaves an imprint in them. And that's it. So don't disrespect what you can correct at the moment already. Good luck.
Before we conclude, I want to invite Gilad and Mushi to join us here. We started yesterday a big group action of building the spiritual house of the whole of humanity, our life project of the archive. We want to hear about the progress. Mushi, if you want, you can sit instead of standing, whatever you want.
Let them stand. It's nicer if they stand.
Okay, so we wanted to say thanks.
Look how sharp they are.
In less than 24 hours, we collected almost 500,000 shekels. Which is already 10% of our target. And besides saying thanks, we also want to express our commitment to share with you and update you on every step of the progress on this project. Every new feature, every new thing that we will do, we are committed to share with you and show you.
We're going to use this opportunity to show you our new website. Please show the link. Okay, the address is www.one.kub.com. That's the first version of the archive. It's still not fully working in mobiles, but you will be impressed of good things. You can see the files of this Congress already. You can go into the Congress. Yeah, we can see the lesson from the Congress. All the files, all the programs, every event we had here, you can see it there. And of course, all the history, this whole... everything Rabash did in Bala Sulam and our dear Rav, it's all there, and it's a process, but we still working, but we have a lot already. We'll be really happy to hear the suggestions. If you have any problems, sure, send it. We'll be happy to fix them. We're here just to say thank you, thank you. We got donations from all over the world. Thank you here, but thanks to all the people in the world. They donated, and it gives us a feeling of one family, that we're all together in this special project, and all of us have their share. So thank you very much. We love you very much. Thank you. I'd like to say again the words I said yesterday. In my eyes, this is the most important thing. All our work is around this this archive, all our life. Well, now too, this is the way it is. We just don't call it this way, but by this means, we will be able to disseminate the wisdom of Kabbalah in all directions. It will help us to organize internally and to spread outwardly. I highly recommend affect it and bestow here as much as you can. Maybe you can go into all the organization of the files here. I don't know. But it really is the best if you do it, so we can organize for that. In the previous lessons, I showed all kinds of books. Today, I want to focus you on the scriptures, the sources. It all starts from the sources. Rabash is the student of Rabash. Our Rav is a student of Rabash. Rabash is a student of Bala Sulam. It's a chain of sources that passes on. And we see every lesson, Rav is supported by the sources. All the time he shows and reads what's going on. The most basic book in our teaching is the writings of Bala Sulam. In Hebrew, there's one book, the writings of Bala Sulam, that has everything Bala Sulam wrote. Rabash, we printed 3 books that publishes everything Rabash wrote. Yesterday we talked about Zohar. It's a project that took years of Rav's life, and we just translated the Zohar, and we made it a language that everyone can understand. I've presented this little booklet we have gathered here. This is a tool to work. If you want to connect and to know what's written about it, and you want to do it in your 10, you want to know exactly what to do, you have a small booklet with all the principles of the spiritual work in the group, including all the social articles by Rabash. One more thing I want to remind you is the new books we have. Well, we talked about it a few times in the Congress. One book is Why Are We Being Hated? It's very important. Yeah, Rav says it's very important that you hand it out to everyone. We sell it in 10 shekels. I can tell you that to make this book, it costs a lot more, but we really want to spread it out, so that's why we sell it in a price that you won't think about it. You just buy it, and every house in Israel can have this book, so we won't be sorry aftermath. I told you about the book Holidays and Roots. That's for you, for internal work, for each and every one. Kabbalah and Science Meet. We also have a book in Russian. I'm repeating this because some people joined us only today, so I'm repeating all these books. So in Russian, we also have a new book in Zohar, Mishpatim, and we also have Rabash, the degrees of the ladder in Russian. So after the lesson, we're going to have Rav Lightman sign the books in the lobby, in the left of the bookstore. of course, the bookstore and souvenir store will be open at your service during the recess. We also have the donation stand for the archive, the project of our life. Let's keep on going with the same velocity as we had yesterday. Okay, today we're also going to have new people. We had tours that were very successful. We really need you, especially friends from the world. If you can join these tours, new people are coming. They're very impressed from people from abroad. So if you can come after the lesson, after this lesson, we're going to meet outside in the yard. And we're also going to talk about the trip for the World Kli. We're going to have a lot of shows and special activities in the recess. Now, if you want to register for the spiritual trip, it's in the trip stand. The trip is tomorrow. We advise you to register. We're going to have lunch in 15 minutes after the song and our task for the recess. Oh, my task is to sign the books, right? 15 minutes? Okay, so we have only 15 minutes for signatures. Everyone is going to buy us a book, and I'm gonna be there to sign them. Okay, our task for the recess is everyone is thinking of the arvut. What did we learn today? In what way, if we supply the concern and the care for our friends, if one has any concern, he should tell the friends. Meaning, if we care for them, we neutralize their own inclination, their desire, and then they become free. This way, I'm pulling the friend from his prison. I'm supplying arvut. I'm supplying my arvut and care for him, and by that I'm bringing him out, disconnecting him from his inclination. Okay, that's what we're thinking about, and that's what we're thinking about everyone. Try it, and you'll see how it works. You'll suddenly be like floating in the air. It's possible. Let's do it. Song.
תעשה לך לך מה ששנוא עליך אל תעשה לך לך מה ששנוא עליך אל תעשה לך לך מה ששנוא עליך אל תעשה לך לך מה ששנוא עליך לי 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 האדם שמולי ממש כמוני האדם שמולי נרגש כמוני האדם שמולי זו שכמוני עד שאני יכול להביא אותו ממני עד שאני יכול להביא אותו ממני אל תעשה לך לך מה ששנוא עליך 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 לה 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 האדם שמולי רוצה כמוני האדם שמולי צוחק כמוני האדם שמולי בוכה מתרחק כמוני, עד שאני יכול, עד שאני יכול להבדיל אותו ממני, עד שאני יכול, עד שאני יכול להבדיל אותו ממני. אל תעשה לחברך מה ששנוא עליך, אל תעשה לחברך מה ששנוא עליך, אל תעשה לחברך מה ששנוא עליך, אל תעשה לחברך מה ששנוא עליך. La 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 la